Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Supplement Review Saturday. This is our second episode in our protein powder series. Today, we will be going over 3 different brands of protein powders that you asked me to review, and we'll get into a little bit of the basics on each of them, some of the big comparison factors between the 3, and then at the end, you will get my opinion on which out of this round is my personal pick. So I do have my notes over here. When you hop on, let me know that you can hear me and let me know which brand you are most excited about. So as you can see in the little description area, we are going to be talking about today Arbonne, Shakeology, and Alani Nu protein powder / shake powder. Now, I do have a couple of notes to go over here before we really dive into each brand because there are a couple of things that you all asked for that I feel like need to be kind of addressed before we dive into each brand specifically. So if you need the big overview on protein powder, my thoughts on it, some of the science behind it, click the link in the comments for episode 1, and you can watch that and catch up whenever you have the chance to. But today we are going to dive right into the second step. So a little bit more background information here. We are, wherever possible, going to only look at vegan protein powders. Plant-based protein powders is what we're going to be looking at because if you do not have a vegan protein powder, what you are drinking is whey protein powder. Now, we've heard a lot about whey. I get a lot of questions about it, and here is why I do not recommend whey protein powder to any of my clients specifically. Unless they ask for it, then I'll do some research and find a specific one that I think is best for them. But whey is a byproduct of milk. Dairy is not something that the human body is designed to digest, friends. So here is the actual breakdown on what you are hearing about dairy-free. Is it right? Is it not? Here's what we're going to talk about, okay? The human body is not designed to digest cow milk because the human digestive system is much different than the cow's digestive system. Cows have multiple stomachs. They're called rumen, and we do not have that. We have one stomach, right? One digestive tract. Cows have multiple, so there are different things in the milk that they can digest that we cannot. They have many more enzymes that break those things down. We do not. We are just not designed to drink it. Almost every single one of us is actually lactose intolerant because we're just not designed to drink it. But there is something called lactase persistence, I believe. And basically what this is, it's kind of cool. It's a genetic mutation that some people have that allows them to digest and not feel any real symptoms when they eat dairy products. So some people tolerate it really well, and that's because of a genetic mutation. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with them. These things happen. Almost every single one of us have different gene mutations. It's really kind of cool, but that is the science behind the whole whey thing, the whole dairy thing. Really, we're just not designed to digest it, so we should try wherever possible to limit it in our diet. Now, if we go back to episode 1, you know that protein powder is not a necessary thing. You should not be drinking it every day. You should not be drinking it multiple times a day. So if you're drinking a whey protein powder, you're adding that in. You're adding that dairy factor, that digestive, not good for you, not great for you in terms of digestion. You're adding that in where you don't need to be. So that is my thought on it. That is why we are going to go vegan. It will always, 100% of the time, be better on your digestive tract. Even if you have that lactase persistence, you still are just, your digestive tract is not the same as a cow's. We'll leave it at that, right? So the other thing I do want to talk about is that whey, all dairy products have this protein called casein. Now, casein is why cheese is literally addictive, okay? We know that we feel that way But there is actually science to back us up on this, which is kind of cool because it makes me feel a little bit better that I have not given up cheese yet. So casein is a protein. It binds to the same neuroreceptors as heroin and cocaine. Okay? It binds to our addiction center neurotransmitters. This is why it tastes so good, because it gives our brain that reward because of the neuroreceptors that it binds to. Again, really cool science stuff here. What you need to know is that it's not great for your digestive system. There is a reason that it's very hard to quit eating, drinking dairy. And casein can have some drug interactions. So if you are on a medication prescribed by your doctor for a chronic condition, you really should be checking into if casein has an effect on it. It actually does interact with some antibiotics and makes them less potent. So that is something you should really be looking into if you are on antibiotics or any other medication. Always be checking what food interactions that they have, just to keep yourself safe, okay? So, that's a lot. I hope this is beneficial. It's really sciencey, but it is some pretty fun stuff. So, the other thing that I do want to say is that protein shakes and like shake/meal replacements are essentially the same thing. I did get some questions. I know the Shakeology and the Arbonne aren't necessarily marketed as a protein powder. They're marketed more as a dietary supplement, shake, meal replacement, that type of thing. If you look at what's in it, which form it's in, and the overall nutrient value for the price, that's what we're going to be looking at today. They're all pretty much the same. What we're really going to look at here is it just a basic protein powder? It's just a protein isolate and some other stuff, or does it have added nutrients, added superfoods, all this type of stuff? The core value is the same here. They are all on the market because they have a dense protein value, which is why we're adding them to increase the protein intake. Okay, so no matter what it's marketed as necessarily, they all really serve the same purpose. Now some, again, are going to be better than others because of the ingredients, because of the nutrient values that they have. But what we're looking at here is all essentially the same. Do not let the marketing tactics by companies fool you. If you're looking for a protein powder, these are the most popular ones. These are the ones you asked me to review. So let's get into it. Yay. Okay. So number one, these are in no particular order here, just the way that I went and looked them up. Number one we're going to get into is Arbonne. So the big issue, I did do an Arbonne protein powder review earlier this summer. Again, the big issue I have here is that it's under a tab called nutrition, and a shake powder is simply not nutrition. Anything that is not food, that does not have fiber and all the different complex nutrient, fiber, carbohydrate, protein, fat composition is not nutrition. Okay, so this is something I'm really passionate about. If it's called nutrition, it's just a marketing ploy. It is not really very truthful. I think it's kind of icky. I guess that's sort of beside the point, but that is a big issue that I have with this brand, because their supplements, their fiber powder, protein powder, all those things are listed under nutrition. That is not nutrition. Your nutrition is what you're eating. Okay, these are supplements. They should be marketed as supplements, just for the sake of honesty and transparency, and that's in my professional opinion. So Arbonne does have seals for vegan, gluten-free, halal, non-GMO, and a couple of others. So that is, again, a very good marketing tactic, because if you are looking for something that is guaranteed vegan, gluten-free, all those things, then they do have that listed very well on the front of the bottle. So you are knowing there. They do also list that it is made in a factory where there could be contamination. So again, with the marketing things here, everyone does it. This isn't to say one bad thing about one specific company. Literally any company that puts out a supplement does this. They are, verified vegan, gluten-free, but they do produce products that are not. So if it's made in that same factory, there is a chance of contamination. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter what your safety and cleaning protocols are. So I think that, those seals can get a little bit muddied sometimes. Now, they do list that under the ingredients, which is very responsible. But again, just throwing that out there, I guess. Okay, so now getting into the nutrient label here. Serving size of the Arbonne is 2 scoops, which is 40 grams. I want you guys to remember these serving sizes in the grams that I'm telling you, okay? 2 scoops, 40 grams per serving. Each serving contains 7 grams of sugar, 160 calories, 13 grams of carb, 3 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein. Arbonne does contain many nutrients, vitamins, minerals. They are not necessarily substantial amounts. Like you're getting like 3, 5, sometimes 20%. So again, should be used as a supplement. But the added ingredients are not super bad or not a very long list, but we do not know the quantities or composition of what is in the Proprietary Complex, and it does have multiple different sweeteners, okay? So if you want more like in depth on this, you can go back and watch the Arbonne review that I did previously. We're going to be very general today just for the sake of comparison and respect for your time. So what I really want you to focus on here is that for proprietary complexes, we're going to talk a lot about this with the different brands. It's very important to me to know what I'm getting, okay? So they can list out the ingredients, and that's great. I definitely want to know what is in the supplement that I'm taking, but I also want to know how much I'm getting, especially if you're paying this price tag. This one comes in at $77 for a bag, which is a 30-day supply. I don't necessarily think there's anything super special about it. If you do have a strict dietary concern, such as gluten-free or vegan, dairy-free, I think this may be a good brand because they are very good about being upfront about what is in each product. But I don't think there's anything special about it. I do not think it's worth $77 every 30 days. I think that's a little bit crazy. Also, let's go back to the fact here that you should not be taking this kind of stuff every single day. So yes, it should last you longer than that. This is a direct selling company. So I do know that, these are kind of sold on a every 30-day basis. So you should not be using it in that time frame, but still, I'm just not sure that it's worth the $77 if I knew exactly how much was in the proprietary complex of each ingredient so that I knew what it is in comparison with a therapeutic dose. I would feel a little bit better about recommending this one. What I want to talk about there is the fact that therapeutic dosages are often much, much, much higher than what is in it. So these companies will claim benefits of using, and this is just random, this doesn't have anything to do with Arbonne right now, but they'll say benefits of collagen, hair, skin, and nail growth, all these types of things. What most people don't know, we're going to get into this in our collagen series, but little teaser here, the therapeutic dose of collagen is about 15,000 IU, I lost the word for it. 15,000 is the number you're looking for though, okay? In terms of dosage. Most collagens, you'll probably get a couple hundred, okay? So just be aware that these are created to make money. So we need to be knowing what the therapeutic dosage is, what is actually in each supplement, and how we can compare to each one. Okay. Moving on now to Shakeology. If you have any questions about each specific one, if you'd like some more clarification, please just drop it in the comments. I'll do my best to address it either at the end of this video or personally with you afterwards. I do just want to make sure we get through all of them and not take too much time. So, Shakeology. This one is promoted as, quote, an ultra premium superfood shake. I personally think it is on the borderline of becoming a meal replacement shake. Protein powders and shake mixes, all of these things should be added to like a smoothie style thing, okay? So you should be adding spinach, fruits, vegetables, almond milk, water, oats. Like, you should be adding lots of different things so that you are getting some actual nutrition with these supplements. Okay, so what that's going to do is increase your fiber, some other nutrients that may not be included in each of these supplements. So the way that they're marketing this, it does make me a little bit concerned that it could be misconstrued and people could think that this is a complete nutrition option and take it just as a shake. I do know that some of going back here to the Arbonne, some people do use it as the direct selling partners will use it as a meal replacement and they will market it that way. The danger here, and hear me when I say danger, is the fact that people that are doing this are not nutrition professionals, so they don't know that that is dangerous, okay? So please be cautious about who you're working with, who you're taking information from. I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of come back to someone that is unbiased. I do not have any affiliation with any of these companies. So get all this information here and then go back and do your own research, make your own decision for your body. Okay, so I just want to point that out there. We are borderline here, getting into a space where people are drinking these shakes as a meal. And you'll see here most of these are only 100 couple calories. Each of your meals should be at least 300 calories because if you only eat 3 meals a day, that only adds up to about 900 calories. If you are an adult, that is not enough food for you. If you are an adult that moves your body in any way, shape, or form during the day, that is definitely not enough food for you, okay? So, sidebar there, but please, please be wary when you see people saying that they're using a meal replacement or they're having a shake for lunch, okay? That is just not, it ain't it, okay? So, just my thought there. Back to Shakeology. This is another quote from their website. It is, quote, not just protein, vitamins, and minerals, but antioxidants, phytonutrients, enzymes, fiber, adaptogens, and more. That is a big, hefty claim. Looking into the actual supplement, per serving, it is 1 scoop for 38 grams. Talk about this a little bit at the end here, but 1 scoop for 38 grams. 7 grams of sugar per scoop per serving. 160 calories again, 15 grams of carb, 3 grams of fat, 16 grams of protein. The ingredients in this one actually did really impress me. There are some things like camu, which is, if you watched Down to Earth with Zac Efron on Netflix, you'll know what that is, but it is a superfruit that is amazing for immune health. It is an exotic fruit, so it's something that, you may not have access to otherwise. Ingredients are really impressive. However, the first added ingredient is sugar. It is organic sugar, but we'll talk about this in the future. That doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. It does not, in any terms, change the way that sugar breaks down in your body. Not saying that sugar is the devil here. I'm just saying that the first ingredient is sugar, which means that is the most abundant ingredient. In my personal opinion, if you're taking a protein powder supplement or a superfood supplement, I know they're marketing this to taste really good so that people want to keep buying it. But if you're doing it for the actual health reasons that they're promoting, you're not buying it for the flavor. You're buying it for the benefit, okay? And so sugar just doesn't have a great benefit in here. So wasn't super impressed with that. The big thing here is that those awesome ingredients that I saw, there were no amounts or quantities or compositions for any of them. All of the superfoods listed, it has, kale and the camu and fruits and vegetables, lots of great stuff, but we do not know how much of each of those things are in it. So if it has 1 kale leaf ground up and put in there, that's really not doing anything for your body. Now, if it has 3 bunches of kale dried and ground up in this powder, then that's a really great source of vitamin K, vitamin A, some other great nutrients, vitamin C. You see where I'm going here, right? Iron. You just don't know. There are 2 very different ends of the spectrum. you do not know which one you're falling under here. I think, in my opinion, I think this supplement would be worth $130 a bag. Again, the bags come in the 30-day servings. I think it would be worth that hefty price tag if I knew how much of each ingredient was in there and if I knew that I was getting the therapeutic doses that are actually going to help supplement my nutrition, okay? Of course, my nutrition is pretty good. I still eat potatoes and ice cream and french fries and cheese and all the things, okay? Not saying that I'm perfect. And so sometimes a supplement is really good to help me get some added benefit there. But I'm not paying $130 a bag if I don't know that if it's a collagen supplement, if I'm not getting the therapeutic dose of 15,000, if I'm actually getting 300, I'm not paying for it, okay? That is my thought there. This is my outside unbiased opinion. It could be really great. I just don't know. And so I cannot ethically recommend it or say that it is worth such a big price tag. Okay? So, and it does have, it has the fruits. It actually has some fungi that have, probiotics and prebiotics instead of taking them from animal sources, which is a really great and cool thing. But I need to know how much is in it and if I'm actually getting what I'm paying for. Does that sort of make sense? That's what I'm thinking here. Okay, so the final one we have here for today is Alani Nu. Now, you may not have heard of this one. It is a very trendy company that just got into GNC a few years ago. They have beautiful packaging. Let's see if it measures up to the packaging. Okay, it had a great internet response because it was beautiful to share. They have really fun flavors, okay? They have like peach ring flavored BCAAs. Their pre-workout is called Candy Explosion flavor, okay? They have lots of fun flavor, fruity cereal protein powder. Okay, that's great and all, but is it actually doing anything for you? Per serving, so that they don't really have any big claims. Just again, the pretty packaging, the eye colors, or the eye-catching flavors, and that's about it. There's no health claims or anything like that. So per serving, we're looking at 1 scoop, which is 33.7 grams. I should point out that the Arbonne and the Shakeology that I just talked about were both vanilla flavor. This one is chocolate flavor because that's all they have. In the vegan protein, they also had a fruity cereal flavor that was sold out. So I chose to do the chocolate flavor just for the sake of keeping it pretty consistent. So this one is looking at 1 gram of sugar, 125 calories, 5.9 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat, 21.6 grams of protein. So that means this one is the highest in protein, but it is just a protein powder. It has a very small, short nutrient list. Basically, it's listing you're getting carbs, fat, protein, calories, maybe I think 3 nutrients, and that's it. You're basically not getting anything extra here. You're buying a protein powder, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if that's all you're looking for, but for the price, I do think there are better things out there, such as these other supplements that have added superfoods health benefits to them. So natural flavors is listed twice in this one. As we've talked about before, we don't know what natural flavors are. It could be cherry juice. It could be ground up walnuts. It could be a chemical that they made in the lab yesterday. We don't know. Okay? So natural flavors, natural colors, that's something we want to try and avoid if at all possible because we just don't know what it is. That is per FDA regulation. Nothing companies can really do about that, but if we can, we want to avoid it. The fact that it's listed in here twice, not a huge fan of. There are 3 types of sweeteners, which is why it is so low in actual sugar, because there are some other chemical sweeteners in there. It has a very low nutrient density, What I'm talking about here is their ingredients are kind of lower quality. So instead of using cacao powder, which is the actual like unsweetened pure cacao nugget, whatever you want to call it, where you're getting, you know, some caffeine, you're getting a little bit of those antioxidants straight from the plant, they're using cocoa powder to flavor it. Cocoa powder is an extra step processed. It is sweetened. It is usually lightened a little bit. So just be aware. You're not always getting what you think you're getting. There are definitely ingredients that have a great health benefit, and there are some that are cheaper, that are easier to use, that do not. So that's what we're looking at here. In my honest opinion, it's really definitely not worth $45. You don't get anything but protein from seeds. Now that is kind of cool. Usually you'll see like pea, rice, those sorts of proteins in a vegan source, which are fine. Everything is fine, great. But this one actually comes from like watermelon and pumpkin seeds, which is kind of cool, just a different way to do things, but it's definitely not worth $45 when you can roast pumpkin seeds yourself and eat them and get the same kind of benefit, maybe even a little bit better, by avoiding those added ingredients. So, winner, grand winner here. We have come to the end. To be quite honest with you, I don't have one this week. I really want to say that Shakeology is the winner out of this round, but the price, I just cannot get past it with the fact that we just don't know exactly what's in it. Here's what I want to tell you about that, though. It could be a very, very cheap option, okay? Now, that's comparing against if you went and got all of those different superfoods and prebiotics and probiotics that they include in Shakeology. If you're going and getting them and taking the therapeutic dose, you could probably be spending thousands of dollars on those supplements. They're expensive, they add up over time, but you know that you're getting the therapeutic dose, you know that you're getting what you need. If Shakeology has those therapeutic doses, then $130 price tag is out of this world immaculate, okay? But we don't know. I honestly kind of want to like send them an email, and Shakeology does come from Team Beachbody, which is another direct selling company. I honestly almost want to email the company themselves and just like ask if they have it, because if they do, then I want to give it to you guys and actually recommend it, because it could be something really great. It's like right there, it's on the cusp. It's almost there. It's like when we're sitting here reaching for our goals, we almost get there and then we quit. Okay? This is a little aside here. But that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm a little upset. But take with that what you will. Come back and rewatch this video, jot down some notes, and do some comparisons. Next week, we will be looking at 3 more brands, and you'll get a comparison between those 3 as well as these ones from this week. You can always come back and watch this here, and we will post them on YouTube next week as well. I do want to point out before we leave, though, if you go back and listen, you will see that each brand has a different serving size. Their scoops are all different sizes, okay? All scoops are not created equal. All protein powders are not created equal, okay? So I hope this has been really helpful. I know it was a little bit lengthy, so thank you for sticking with me. If you have any questions or any other supplements you want reviewed, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to go over them with you. I'm so thankful for each of you being here today. This has been really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to next week. It will be a bit shorter because we won't have that initial overview to go through, but thank you so much for being with me. I hope you all have a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. I'll see you next time.